This week in gaming, GTA 6 is delayed. Rockstar sucks. This is the Nerd Cave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by my good friend and co-host, Derek the Sleepy Daniel. Derek, how's it going?
like you said, I am a little sleepy. I took a nap before the show and almost was had to be late, but luckily you text me like, hey, I'm gonna be on. Give me about 10 or so minutes. I'll be on. I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. I'm ready anyway, but I'm good.
We're here. We're excited. Guys, thank y'all for being patient. We're excited tonight. We got a lot to discuss. This is a Rockstar extravaganza tonight with GTA and so many other things. Let us know how you are down in the comments below. I don't want to, hold us back any on tonight because I want to get to the delay and everything, our thoughts on that. But we have our favorite segment, and that is what you playing. Derek, were you able to play any since last week?
Yes, I played Ghost of Yote. I did do pretty much everything like side quest wise that I was able to do in Teshio Ridge. So I just been story blitzing really. So I beat the Kitsune,
Nice.
took them out. What I texted you, I texted you was like, oh, it could be this or this, and you're like, gotta play more. So it ended up being like the first option I told you, but that was still a cool fight nonetheless, and like a cool little reveal for things. Then I progressed. I went and played the first mission for the dragon, the spider, and then I finally got the Odachi, so I've got all the weapon. Well, I've got all the hand-to-hand weapons, I should say.
Yeah.
And then it cut off. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'll go do the first mission for Lord Saito, which was very, very, really cool to do. Storm the fortress and then overhear some stuff that's with Lord Saito. And it actually progressed me into Act 2. Like that progresses you into Act 2. And so now you continue the Spider and the Dragon storyline, which sends you to the last area, the Okashima, or was it? It's basically the coastline.
I haven't got there yet.
It's basically the coastline. So I'm in the final area that you have left to explore in Yote, which was a pretty explosive. It starts off with a bang, and now you get some long range weapons. I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you get some long range weapons, and then you get one. And then it's like, oh, like the shorter long range weapon. It's like, okay, you get to go learn from that master. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, cool. We're progressing the story. We're doing some things.
You getting American breathing?
Yes.
First form.
Wow. Dude, that took over. That took over TikTok for a while. It was like, American. I know that stupid rap song that comes on like, blah. Or whatever it is,
I don't know what you're talking about, bro, but okay.
I'll have to look it up, but it took over, and I'm like, okay, cool. We're doing things. So I ended it there before I went to the place where you meet the master, but I stopped there. But yeah, I did some story progressing in Yote, so doing some things.
Nice. I love it. I didn't get to play Tuesday because I've been feeling really under the weather with vertigo and everything. So I haven't been able to play as much as I wanted to. But I did jump into Death Stranding on Friday night or Sunday night. I can't remember which night it was. Played about 3 hours. So didn't really progress the story, but I'm building roads. Derek, I don't know how, you wouldn't think, Derek, building roads would scratch this itch, but dude, it scratches an itch so hard. And I'm trying to get roads where it's because if you're on a road, you can't be attacked by the mules or BTs or anything like that. So it's like, okay, if I can get enough roads to where I can just stay on the roads, it makes it so much easier. But I played a little bit more of that, and I'm digging the game. I'm 80% through chapter 5, nice. I want to say. So I'm digging that. And the last time I played Yote, my plan was to go to the Oni and take care of that. So that's Tuesday night is my plan to take down the Oni, and because I've already got the Adachi, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anything else happens there. But then I got to go do the Saito mission and then move past that. But I'm digging everything that I'm playing right now. I've been playing a little bit of solo leveling Rise, got free ring Stark. I'm waiting to get Fern, but yeah, they're OP. So I'm loving it. Joe says, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 1 again, and then I'm almost finished with Wing Feather Saga's third book. I haven't heard of Wing Feather. Me and Amy just finished Well of Ascension, which is the second book of Mistborn, and I finished the sixth book of Sun Eater. So I'm ready for this month. I think it's the 18th. We get the last book of Sun Eater. A lot of good books. Okay. I'm down. Let me know more about it, Joe, because I'm curious. I'm always looking for a good read. I've been reading Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter again.
Yeah,
it's good stuff
that.
there. It's good stuff. I'm digging it. It's been like 12 years since I've read it or more, and I was like, I need a little spoopy book. I started it the week of Halloween, and then it's just good, Derek. It's just good pulpy fiction, It's like it takes enough of like history to like anchor it, where it's like, these references and everything that's going through Abraham's life, but it just does it in such a really good fashion, which I'm really digging. Amy says, reading Fury of the Gods, Fools, Aaron, and the Night Watchman. I don't know the last one, but Amy's been on a carry on.
I've heard of the Night Watchman somewhere, but I'm probably thinking of another piece of media.
Maybe. Guys, let's get into the gaming discussion this week, and I told Derek we had other things planned, but we're not even bearing the lead tonight. First up, GTA 6 breaking news. GTA 6 is delayed again until November 2026, and this is by Rebecca Valentine at IGN.
So, as we just said, GTA 6 has been delayed until November 19th of next year. Again, over a year out from when we can expect it. This news was announced today by Rockstar as part of Take-Two's second quarter earnings. In a release shared with IGN, Take-Two shared that the delay was, quote, giving the team some additional time to finish the game with the high level of polish players expect and deserve. Rockstar has our full support, of course, and we are confident they will deliver an unrivaled blockbuster entertainment experience. GTA 6 was originally announced for a fall 2025 release, with CEO Strauss Zelnick saying that he felt confident in, even amid speculation of a delay. The game was then delayed to May of next year, with Rockstar citing a need for extra time to, quote, deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve. In a conversation with Zelnick ahead of the announcement, IGN asked him what had changed in the year since he first said he felt confident in the fall 2025 date. Zelnick replied, quote, it's all of 2025. We've had more time to develop the title, and so we are getting closer to the release. We are grateful that it is still within the same fiscal year, and mostly we're grateful to Rockstar for constantly seeking perfection. While most fans are prepared to wait patiently for GTA 6 regardless of when it drops, some fans are taking the news a little bit hard. On a call with investors today, Zelnick also said players shouldn't expect any changes to the cadence of updates to GTA Online due to GTA 6's delay. Zach, I know we didn't bet, but it pays to be right, because in recent history, and they've only put out 2 games within the last decade plus, GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. We've seen that pattern. Yep. GTA 5 was supposed to come out 2012, got delayed twice to a year later, came out 2013. Red Dead Redemption 2 was supposed to be 2017, got delayed till spring of 2018, and then got kicked down to fall of 2018. And wouldn't you know it, your boy said, now I don't remember them sticking to a hard fall release of this year, but they did kick the can down to May of 20. They even put a date, and I know we were back and forth about, oh, will they stick to this? And they gave a date this time rather than just like a rough estimate window, blah blah blah. And I said there's still a chance anything can happen, still could get delayed. And wouldn't you know it, they kicked the can down to fall of 2026. And I know we'll get into the next part of it here in just a minute, but now there's like, oh, could it still slip? And I'm like, it still could. Who knows? Cyberpunk, it's the golden example. I know it's not the best example, but it's the golden example of.
I feel like it is the best example at this point. It is,
but I mean, I'll explain in a minute. But it went gold and then still got delayed. When you go gold, you're pretty much locked in for that release date. Nope, they broke that trend in the wrong way. But again, and I know there's people out there that are just like, oh man, I was so excited, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, we were still 6 months out. Like, let's be fair. It's not like we were in May or March and this game got delayed, within the last minute span. There's still time. And again, we know Rockstar, they deliver, and they're not going to put out a game they not feel confident in that will be like a 10 out of 10 game of the year, will earn you $1 billion at launch, like within the first 3 days, and not put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. So and again, if the game gets delayed, it's because to make it better, unless you're Cyberpunk, in which the case the game is barely playable at launch, but that's a whole other issue and another can of worms. But what does this say? Obviously, we're both not surprised by this. Like, this is Rockstar's MO for the last 2 games.
Yeah, for me, when you texted me, I was like, okay, checks out. Like,
that's facts. I mean, and it's funny because I had just put the dot together, was about to get up and go, make dinner, and something said, check, go check, and I clicked on my YouTube subscriptions and saw Kind of Funny had like a breaking news daily, and it was like GTA 6 out delay. I'm like, well, got to get back and change something real quick.
Yeah, so it being delayed, we say it, Kind of Funny says it. It's like a game that's launched early is going to be bad.
Yeah,
a game delayed is going to be good. And it's like, yeah, it's not a few weeks before launch and it gets delayed. That is huge red flags. This is like, okay, we're going to polish it, and hopefully we don't hear, that they're in crunch this whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping is, like, when we get at the tail end of this, we don't hear, oh yeah, the development team was in crunch from, end of 2025 till launch day and everything. I would believe it, to be honest, but hopefully not. If they deliver, awesome, which I know that they will deliver.
Yeah.
And this being, November, I think the bigger story here is, how is this going to affect all the people that have pushed their game to the end of the year?
Rockstar could be the ultimate trolls if they so chose to be, because they planted their flag, gave a date, a month, and a date. And so everyone was, was like, all right, we need to scatter around the state and just avoid it like the plague. And now they planted a new flag, and everyone's like, doggone it.
Well, and it's like people were complaining, and like with Silk Song like coming out and everything, and how it affected other games and all of this, and it's like, yeah, I can understand where that was coming from, but I feel like this is even more major because it's harder to push up a date than it is to push back a date. We've had a few of those happen, but it's like maybe
it's only like a few weeks.
Yeah, it's a few weeks, it's not months. So it's like looking at the games that are potentially coming out, with Wolverine, which I was
going to say Marvel's Wolverine is the only release window we've got for 2020. It's fall 2026.
Yeah, so it's like we've got Wolverine, Call of Duty, Fable, E-Day, Halo. Those are like the really big ones. Like, I wouldn't consider Fable a big one, but you know what I mean? Those that we know that are supposed to be coming out in 2026. And Halo and the Xbox, like their 25th anniversary, whatever it is in November.
Oh
So it's like a
gosh.
few days. It's like November 15th, I want to say. So it's like a horrible time. And I'm sure they want to plant their flag there. But it's like, how many people are going to play Halo campaign evolved over, it's like,
GTA
yeah,
6.
and if you put it right before GTA, you're gonna have 4 days of like getting the hype, and then it is
Yep.
dead. Like you're not
Yep.
gonna get anything past that with like streamers or people talking about it in the news and everything. But if you put it at a different time, in this, like, you look at Forza Horizon, the one that they're going to Japan,
Yes.
that's usually a fall game. September,
Mhm.
October, November, over the last 3 years have been kind of the spread of where they put them and everything. So it's like you look at that and it's like, how many people are going to try to combat it or push their games into 2027 because they can't push it up?
Nope.
And
So
and you also got like Nintendo. We normally get a Pokemon game
yeah.
in the last part of the year, and that's going to be Gen 10.
Okay. But to be fair, like we keep saying, Nintendo's going to Nintendo. They do
True.
WND, weird Nintendo decisions. And like we also used to, it's like Pokemon is such a different game that it's going to be for those audiences, because those same audiences will not give two rips about GTA 6 either.
I don't know,
To be
Derek.
fair.
I feel like GTA, even though it is like uber violent, it's just like this game that I feel like everybody plays at
Yeah.
some point in time. They might not play it at launch date, but they will play it eventually. It's just very interesting. I think it might even get pushed again. You know what I mean? Like the possibility is there. I wouldn't.
That would be against the trend, because Rockstar's like, we march to the beat of our own drum. We don't do trends. We don't follow the suit.
Well, their trend of pushing it twice, you know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
But one way or another, it's going to be a mega blockbuster hit if it comes out in 2026 or 2027. It's
Mhm.
not going to make a big difference on, just when the money's going to hit the bank, I feel like is the big thing. And I know, like their stock has went down as well since the
Mhm.
announcement today and everything, which is to be expected.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's getting delayed, so people are dumping, which I think is stupid. But hey, this is not financial advice, but
Yeah.
it is cheaper to buy Rockstar stock right now, or Take Two stock right now. So
Right.
if you got the cash flow,
But
not
now I have a
financial
question.
advice, not
Right.
financial advice.
Put watermark here. Disclaimer. But now my question is, Zach, how confident is Strauss Zelnick with that they could stick to this release date now?
Well, Strauss Zelnick says he's highly confident on the new GTA 6 release date, but says when games are released too early, bad things happen. And this is by Rebecca Valentine at IGN.
So, speaking to IGN on a call ahead of the announcement, Zelnick reiterated the company's statement that the delay was simply for Rockstar to have time to polish the game. Quote, we wanted to give Rockstar the appropriate amount of time to polish the title and make sure it can be the very best it can be, like no one ever was. Pokemon. I'm just kidding. So I asked Zelnick again, how confident do you feel in this new date? Do you think there's any chance we're looking at GTA 6 in 2027? Quote, I'm highly confident, he replied. And at the same time, there have been limited circumstances where more time was required to polish a title and make sure that it was spectacular, and that time has been well spent. When our competitors go to market before something was ready, bad things happen. That said, I'm highly confident on the new date. Take Two reported net bookings of 1.96 billion with a B in the best second quarter in company history, thanks to the release of NBA 2K26, Mafia: The Old Country, and Borderlands 4. GTA 5 continues to sell millions each quarter, having now reached over 220 million units sold lifetime.
Wow.
Excuse me.
That's crazy.
So it is like god tier numbers at this point, like pretty much unattainable in if you want to say. Um, but again, he brings up a good point. In the first article, it said, "Oh, I was really highly confident in the release date when we delayed it out of fall to May. Now I'm still confident when we do it." But again, he kind of like gives himself a loophole, saying we're not going to just rush a game out and then it's going to be bad and then it costs us billions of dollars. We're going to make sure it's a quality product that our consumers will enjoy for decades to come, essentially, because GTA 5 has been out for over a decade at this point, and it's still going strong as we just talked about. So they're going to do the same. They're going to give the same love and attention to GTA 6 because they know that's their cash cow, especially when online hits for 6. They know they're just going to print money at that point. So they want to make sure they have another cash cow waiting in the wings to take over the world and not just flub it up and have another cyberpunk issue.
Yeah, they don't want to get in the part where they don't have everything together. And I'm thinking, Derek, instead of launching like GTA 5 did, where it launched the main game and then several months later we finally got the heist in the online mode that came out, like I mean it was like 3 to 6 months after launch date, and there was still some trouble with that. I think they might launch.
The online launched a few weeks after the base game, but I think what you're talking about is like the mode, like the missions, the modes, all that I think did take several months after the fact.
Yeah. The heist, I remember it taking months to get up and running. But I think this might be they launch day and date GTA 6, the full base game, and you get online. And because not everybody is going to want to play through the story, I feel like it's kind of like Call of Duty. Not everybody's there for the story, but there are so many more people there for the online portion of it. And if they can get that out the gate, it might be 2 weeks before they turn on the servers or whatever, so more people get to play the game. I don't know. At the same time, I'm like, hey, if people want to play the online side of it and pay us money for shark cards and all of that, I feel like that is the best way. And that might be why we've seen the delays, is they want to make sure the online portion is ready to go, because that is the cash cow long term compared to just the base game.
Correct. So and it's crazy to think, because back in the day GTA used to just all be about the story and people still would go crazy for it, and it wasn't until 5 that even was like, oh, there's going to be an online mode. It's like, cool, let's see what it's about. And now it just takes over the world.
Yeah. And I'm excited for it. I cannot wait for it. But this was not like this ruined my day or my year or anything like that. It's like, to Amy's point, is it ever actually going to happen? Eventually, I don't think that they're in a rush. And I feel like Straf Zelnick was just like, I'm confident, but
it's like, we need to delay it again, we will. But it's also like, especially at the end port, like it's GTA 5 has sold over 220 million units. Like, they're not hurting for money at this point either. You know what I mean? So it's still going to do the thing that it needs to do. They're sitting on just a pile of cash. They're just like, okay, delay it again. Cool. I still got 100 million sitting in my back pocket.
Yeah. Well, and it's like they're making money hand over fist with the online mode, and they're still selling Grand Theft Auto 5 for like $30.
Yeah.
So like they're still making money off the game just to get people into like the online mode and everything. And with the coming up to it, I know there will be probably an influx of people jumping into GTA 5 to get ready for GTA 6 and all of that. That normally happens with any kind of new game within a series. There are, not a mass, but there's a good bit of people that go and play the game again. And that could mean, buying the game a 5th time because it's been on, 3 generations of consoles at this time.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think.
It's becoming Skyrim.
Yeah. Well, we're not done with Rockstar, everybody, because we've had some Rockstar drama, because Rockstar Games has been accused of union busting after layoffs, and this is by Wesley LeBlanc at Game Informer.
So the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain, or the IWGB, has accused GTA developer Rockstar Games of union busting after the company has fired between 30 and 40 employees across its various offices in the UK and Canada last week, as reported by Bloomberg. The report says all the employees laid off were part of a private union Discord chat group and were either already union members or attempting to organize one at Rockstar. Quote, Rockstar has just carried out one of the most blatant and ruthless acts of union busting in the history of the games industry, said IWGB President Alex Marshall in a statement to Bloomberg. This flagrant contempt for the law, for the lives of the workers who bring in their billions, is an insult to their fans and the global industry. Take-Two Interactive, which publishes the GTA series and owns Rockstar Games, told the publication that the firings were for, quote, gross misconduct and no other reason, noting that the company supports how the developers handled the layoffs. IWGB has not stated whether it will pursue judicial action against Rockstar Games regarding this accusation of union busting, but Game Informer will update the story if it learns more. And we have an update. Now, this is from Wesley Yinpool at IGN, but we have an update. Rockstar Games has accused the employees it recently fired of leaking confidential information. Last week, GTA 6 Studio reportedly has fired between 30 and 40 employees in a move that the IWGB claimed was blatant and ruthless union busting. At the time, Rockstar parent company Take-Two issued a statement insisting the firings were for, quote, gross misconduct and no other reason. Now, a new Bloomberg report carried a fresh statement from Take-Two in which the company insisted the fired staff leaked company secrets in a, quote, public forum. Quote, last week, we took action against a small number of individuals who were found to be distributing and discussing confidential information in a public forum, a violation of our company policies. The Take-Two statement read, this was in no way related to people's right to join a union or engage in union activities. According to the IWGB, the fired staff were part of a private union group on Discord, and the only non-Rockstar people inside it were union organizers. IWGB boss Alex Marshall issued the IGN the following statement. Quote, Rockstar continues to deflect from the real reason for these dismissals. They are afraid of hardworking staff privately discussing exercising their rights for a fairer workplace and a collective voice. Management are showing that they don't care about delays to GTA 6 and that they're prioritizing union busting by targeting the very people who make the game. In recent years, Rockstar executives have benefited from a £443 million in tax relief while showing total disregard for the law or the livelihoods of their staff. At every turn, they've chosen profit over both workers and fans of their games. The only non-Rockstar employees in the union Discord channel were union organizers. Now, before we get into the thick of it, I will say that last part about, they just care about profits, that's everywhere. That's not just Rockstar.
Oh, yeah.
Rockstar is just the most. Rockstar is more egregious because of how much money they've raked in, but it's the same everywhere. Like making it sound like they're the only ones who do it. Like obviously, I know they're not saying it; they're the only ones, but the way they're phrasing it, making it sound like Rockstar is like, this is they're exclusive to this kind of because they're like mega millionaires. I'm like, no, that's not just them. EA, Activision Blizzard have done far more egregious things than this, but I digress. What do you think this is? Now, yes, obviously, if they were leaking like confidential documents about GTA 6 and like what the stuff they're doing in there, blah 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 blah. Obviously, that is a breach of company contract. It's sort of like if you any workplace, if you violate one of their laws, it's like that's conduct unbecoming, and that's grounds to fire you or terminate you on the spot. But their whole thing, and it sounds like, the way that last quote they have, Rockstar continues to deflect from the real reason. That sounds like very like union speak, and that sounds like they're trying to meet an agenda almost type thing. Now, I don't know how unions work over there in the UK. I know it's probably pretty similar here to what we do in the States, but the way they phrase that quote, like, they're just deflecting because the real reasons, I'm like, okay, it sounds like they have an ulterior motive themselves, right? And they're just trying to paint Rockstar, and they're trying to get a nice little cash influx from them because of how much money Rockstar has made. But at the same time, if Rockstar is deflecting from this and they're just trying to cover it up because they're afraid of people unionizing in their workspace, that is definitely not cool. It's definitely definitely very dirty corporate sleaze. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on it, Zach?
It's kind of twofold for me. Unions are good in ways of protecting the workers,
Hmm.
because corporations are never going to protect you. They don't have your best interests at heart.
Nope.
They will use you, and if you gave everything to them and you died, they wouldn't hold that position. They wouldn't mourn more than a few seconds. The job listing would be up within a few days, if not the same day. They don't care about you.
Hmm.
That's the end all be all of how corporations work, especially when there's something like Rockstar or an EA or an Xbox or whatever.
Hmm.
It's all about the bottom dollar. How much can we make? How much can we squeeze out of people? If these people were talking about proprietary stuff that, you know, is leaking things and all of that, that's breaking company policy,
Hmm.
yeah, they broke company policy. And most companies at this point are at will employers. That it's whatever
Yep.
their will is, and if they don't want you at the job anymore, then hey, guess what, it's not their will anymore and you're gone. Now if it is what, the IWGB is saying here, is that they were, just organizing to unionize and have bargaining rights and all of that, that is a whole different thing.
Yep.
And I remember us talking about IWGB um earlier this year or last year, where they were talking
Hmm.
about like having um ha- requiring people to come back into office to work, where a lot of people
Oh,
had moved.
you mean Rockstar?
Yeah, Rockstar, but the IWGB was representing
Oh, okay.
these people for, that were Rockstar employees. And it's like Rockstar isn't, like IWGB is hot and heavy on them, because they are over in the UK and everything. I feel like it's a really weird move if it is
It
just
is.
because of unionization.
Yeah.
But we've also seen this happened in a lot of different tech spaces. I remember Google having something like this, where this group unionized, and they're
Hmm.
literally like at a meeting and talking, and it was like, oh, we've just been let go.
Yep.
So this is not something that is unheard of, that employers will get rid of them. So I do think that if it comes out that this is what it is,
Hmm.
then Rockstar will pay some hush money and then move on. You
For
know,
sure.
but
Because some one side is because no matter which side of the coin you look at it, neither part of there's always one part that doesn't make sense. Like if they're meeting to unionize, and then it's like, why would they be leaking secrets to union organizers? You know what I mean? And
yeah,
but then again, if this was over like league secrets, it's like, why, like how do we prove, like how does the IWGB prove that organizers were part of this Discord group chat? You know what I mean? It's like that part, it's like there's some form of it that doesn't make sense for either side, no matter how you look at it. It's like, because why were union organizers there if they were leaking company secrets? And
yeah,
if they're fine in it, but then at the other side of the coin, it's like, why would they leak secrets to union organizers? You know, and like
yeah. Well, and my question is, how did they find out about this Discord channel? Like,
also valid.
it's like there must have been a rat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There must have been a rat within that, and thinking that they would save their jobs or
It's
something.
called the Rat Pack. Bah!
You know what I mean? Like that is the only way. If this is a private channel, and they have no governmental rights to, like, invade, like they're not doing criminal activity or anything.
Mhm.
So it's like, how did they get this information to be able to do that? So I'm very curious where this will go. This might take 6 months to a year before we get any more on this.
Yeah.
But when they're delaying the game, they're letting people go because of one way or the other, either unionization or leaking, information, prior proprietary information. Then
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, you don't want that kind of culture like impact within the group if you're trying to make the best game that's going to come out, in the next 20 years.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta take care of yourself, but you also, if you're a corporate overlord, you also got to take care of your bottom dollar.
Yep.
That's how they think about it, and they will sacrifice you at the altar of greed.
Yep, because we need our 9th vacation home as opposed to you making a living.
Yeah, we need an island that we can take people to.
Pause. Oh boy.
The financier from New York.
Into the thick of it.
Guys, we got one last Rockstar conversation for tonight. Dan Hauser says Red Dead Redemption 3 probably will happen, but feels the series works best as a cohesive 2-game arc. And this is by Michael Hardinitz at PlayStation Universe.
So Hauser explained that the Red Dead Redemption franchise benefited from its 2-arc story focusing on John Marston and Arthur Morgan, while each GTA game was more of a standalone narrative that allowed for multiple titles over the years. Quote, each of the Grand Theft Auto games was kind of a standalone story. It's not quite the same. I think it probably would be, in some ways, sadder if someone continued on Red Dead, because it was a cohesive 2-game arc. That might be more sad to hear someone working on it might be more sad to hear someone that is working on it. Hauser added that another Red Dead game, quote, probably will happen, and it's such a huge franchise, and obviously he doesn't have any say in it anymore, saying, quote, I don't own the IP. That was sort of part of the deal. It's a privilege to work on stuff, but you don't necessarily own it, said Hauser. And this is part, I get what he's saying, but it's also par for the course. And while they were fortunate enough to have two different games that kind of tied into one another, by having Dutch's gang, like be the glue that brought it together. Again, the whole GTA 6, like they do each a standalone story. The GTA 5, they have those iconic characters. Trevor's one of the most iconic. But GTA 6 is going to be far different. Like we're looking at some kind of undercover cop or some kind of like person. It's been a while since I've seen the trailer, but excuse me. I also think that could work for Red Dead. It's like, okay, we've told both sides of the story to like how the Vanderlyn gang, disbanded, and then like the hunt for them afterwards. Like we told that story. Now let's tell another story in like if we can do Western games and like bring that genre to a new light. Let's just do a different tale. Let's just do like like something else. Like the Rockstar has the money and the creativeness and is given enough time to basically figure out what they want to do. And if you give them enough time, they will figure out what kind of story they want to tell in the Red Dead universe. It doesn't have to connect. Not everything has to connect. We've seen genres. Well, we've seen like IPs that don't have anything to do with one another, but they're in that same universe before. It's more commonplace to do it connectively, but I don't know. He does admit, he's like, oh, I do see Red Dead Redemption 3 because it's such a great franchise. Like, why would you not go back to the well on that? But then again, they still haven't done a Bully 2. And I know that but that's, I think, an outlier of the situation. But that was more of like a cold hit that is like people more and more, it feels like every year, like people are still fanning those flames of it, to like still holding a torch for that franchise. But I think it's like, what's the other one? It's like Half-Life 3. It won't see the light of day at this point. I don't know. Like, is this a non-story to you, Zach, or no?
I find it interesting, somebody that has worked on it and everything, talking to you like we'll more than likely get it, which we kind of assumed that we would. Like the pause between Red Dead 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2 was quite big.
Right.
Which I could see we get GTA 6 and then several years from now we'll get a Red Dead Redemption 3. And I feel like the story, just like you were saying, the story that we got is great. Like the 2 parts are awesome. That doesn't mean that you can't go back into that world with somewhere totally in a different place. Like you could,
Different time period, like Ghost, like
yeah,
Ghost of Tsushima. Like that's, I think that was the IP I was trying to fish for. Tsushima and Yote, both set in the same universe per se, but they're 300 years apart.
hmm
And obviously, neither one of us has finished Yote, but so far, both of them tell great stories. But they're not, no, at least that we've discovered, there's no connectivity between the two.
yeah. There's one part in Yote that talks about Jin, but it's like a story, like someone's telling a
Mhm.
story of him. But I think, where they've situated, especially like Red Dead 1 timeline, it's like at the end of the Wild West, like it's being kind of tamed and everything.
Mhm.
Like you could go even before that, like you could do some different things. You could go back to Mexico. You could
Mhm.
kind of, because we got that in one, so you could do some more stuff in that Mexico kind of setting. You could go somewhere totally different. Like you don't have to tread the same trail, but I think the big thing that I loved about Red Dead over GTA is the quality of the story. I
Right.
felt was so good. As like John Marston was a great character. I loved him, but Arthur Morgan, like I just felt like his story was just so visceral and grounded, and
Mhm.
you felt like you were going through it with him. And if they can bring that again with a different character, maybe we get a female character this time around, because we've
Yeah.
had some really cool female characters within the Red Dead universe. It'd be cool to see, because like Bonnie, I'm pretty sure her name was Bonnie, like she was this awesome, like no nonsense, just hard like woman that would just shoot you like if
Yeah.
rather than you blink at her or whatever. Like having somebody like that, that is, rough and tough, but still has her feminine side to her and everything, and her journey through that world, because that would have been a different kind of world for a woman back then,
Yep.
compared to like now, it's still difficult, but back then it'd be like a woman, in those rough and tough environments, kind of unheard of.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot of things that could be done. I don't think, we'll see it anytime soon. It'll probably be 2030 or something like that
Yeah.
before we start getting any
That we'll
kind of
see the
hints.
first teaser image.
Yeah, hints and all of that, but that it is what it is on that. But I can't wait for it. I want it, because I love Grand Theft GTA. I love Red Dead Redemption 2. Gosh. Ah.
Get your game straight, son.
Doop 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 doop.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, but yeah, I'm excited for that. I did want to go to Amy left a comment here, and I thought this was really good. Talking about our previous story about unions and all of that.
Mhm.
It's almost like we're going through another industrial revolution due to technology and corporate corruption effect on industry. Unions and workers' rights need to be reevaluated everywhere. And I agree 100%, because we've got like the Silicon Valley approach, where it's like, oh, you get paid bukus of money, but you have to work there pretty much all the time.
Yep.
But they've got like sleep pods, and they've got cooks, and they've got all of these things, these amenities, but it's this kind of illusion of freedom,
Yeah.
where that's kind of that, compared to like the gaming side, where a lot of people are underpaid, the threat of layoffs, the threat of, oh, you've got to make 30%, revenue on this
Mm.
thing, which is crazy to think about. And it's like, and if you unionize, we're going to, lay you off as well.
Yeah. You were describing. I haven't watched the show, but I've seen enough of the like trailers and whatnot to like get the reference, but or to understand it. But you were talking about like sleep pods and shifts. It almost sounds like they're in the world of Severance. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, exactly. It's like you don't get any freedom when you work at these companies. And I can only imagine, like, we know making a video game is hard, but
Yes.
the conditions that they have to make it in, depending on who they work for, can vary so far.
Yep.
If you work for, Sucker Punch, or if you work for Santa Monica, or if you go over to EA, how is that? Like it just varies so far with like the culture of each developer that, if you move from one place to another, yeah, you know how to do the job, but do you fit in within the culture? Do you fit within um the zeitgeist, I
Yeah.
would say, within all of that. So it's an interesting place, but yeah, I do agree. Like the work week and how employees are treated, I feel like needs to be, re-examined, because you look at it and it's like our work week has been set up off of like factory work compared to like what we do day to day. Like I
Correct.
literally could do all of my work within like 2 or 3 days if I didn't have to work 8 hours a day. It's like, hey, if you get all your work done, you're done for the week. I'd be like, okay, cool. And I just hammer it out instead of, oh, I've got to clock X amount of time. So I've got to like spread out my work
Yeah.
to fill that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like we do need some reevaluation on how work is done.
Spoiler alert, it won't happen until something severe enough happens, like riots and stuff like that. But anyway, I digress.
Maybe when I become president, everybody vote for me for your supreme leader. I'll fix everything. I'm a benevolent leader.
That right there is like it was something a dictator would say.
What? All you have to do is put a picture of me in your house.
Oh God. and put it was it I'm gonna butcher this so bad. Was it east of the sun and then bow to it 3 times a day or something?
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And there are listening devices in all the pictures.
Mm.
You know, Big
In other
Brother.
words, if you talk bad about Zach, he'll swat you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Benevolent. I'm a benevolent leader,
Yeah,
Derek.
yeah.
As long as you don't cross the line, I'm benevolent. It's time for the Patreon Quick Hits. The Patreon Quick Hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. Go support the Nerd Cave by getting your very own Nerd Cave membership to help us continue to make awesome shows like this one. We are a 1.5 person business, and we need your help. Pick a tier that fits best for your budget. You don't have to go crazy. You can if you've got the extra cash. That's totally fine. Derek's not going to Jamaica anytime soon.
Fair.
But hey, if you got the money, help us out. But if you don't got any bucks to toss, that's fine too. You can get a free membership over there as well. So become part of the ship, part of the crew at patreon.com/nerdcave. Now, the quick hits.
First up is something we talked about actually last week on the story. Halo 2 and 3 remakes are in development, but only will include the campaign. The Call of Duty movie shifts up a gear with Peter Berg and Taylor Sheridan now involved. 6-1 Publishing's first game is a co-op Appalachian horror adventure called Blue Ridge Hunting. Arc Raiders is already one of the biggest extraction shooters ever on Steam. Following that, Arc Raiders November and December roadmap features a new map, quests, events, and more. Silent Hill 2 Remake on Xbox pops up on the ESRB website. Fortnite sidekicks are here, and Epic confirms you can customize the appearance of your pet just once, and then it's permanent. Pokemon Legends ZA Ranked Battle Megastone rewards are getting easier to obtain. Dan Houser says GTA series is able to generate so much excitement as Rockstar doesn't rush games to market, and each one feels different. Rockstar's Agent never got off the ground, as Dan Houser believed spy games aren't suited to open world design. Dan Houser says GTA 5's Trevor DLC was about half done when it got abandoned. Avalanche Studios co-founder says Just Cause 5 would be a no-go. Saints Row design director has been asked to make a pitch for a Saints Row reboot to Embracer Group. Mike Pondsmith is keen on to get Keanu Reeves back for Cyberpunk 2. Over a decade after release, Obsidian's Pillars of Eternity gets surprise patch to add turn-based mode. Xbox console exclusive Stalker 2 is set to leave Game Pass this month. Concord shutdown used by UK's House of Commons in debate on improving video game consumer protection and preservation. EA says it will maintain creative control and its values unchanged following planned buyout by private investors. Ampere analysis research finds consumers spend twice as much on game remakes than remasters. Dispatch has sold 1 million copies in just 10 days. Terminator 2 2D No Fate pushed to December 12th. Battlefield 6 has reportedly sold over 10 million copies worldwide. PlayStation Portal has officially received cloud streaming with support for PS5 digital games in your library. Rumor: Sony is planning a PS5 and PC cross-buy option and suggests a new PlayStation Store leak. Dragon Quest VII reimagined to feature brand new ending. Warhammer Survivors put Space Marines in the Vampires Survivors universe. Fantastic Pixel Castle, a studio helmed by former World of Warcraft lead, faces closure this month after NetEase split. Switch 2 sales surpasses 10 million units. Nintendo's new store app tracks play activity all the way back to 3DS. Battlefield 6 devs to revert aim assist settings on PC as PC players edit files to turn off crossplay. Chicken Chicken is an 8-player party game where everyone is a literal chicken. Nintendo planning consistent release cadence for more video game movies following Super Mario Galaxy and The Legend of Zelda films. Despite everyone asking about Fallout New Vegas 2, Obsidian loves making original IP and sequels to them. Epic Games celebrates Fortnite player spike as The Simpsons season launches. Following that, Fortnite Season 7 teases Kill Bill crossover and points to USA setting. An Overcooked reality TV show is in the works, Zach. I'll say that's something that should be up your alley. U.S. Patent Office boss orders re-examination of Nintendo's controversial Summon Character and Let It Fight Pokemon patent, which IP experts claim further undermines credibility of its case against Palworld. And lastly, Marvel Games boss praises Insomniac Games as perfect choice for Marvel's Wolverine and looks to continue partnership for many years to come.
So, Overcooked reality TV show, is this just like Iron Chef, Hell's Kitchen?
Right. Or no, it's what's that one he hosts now, Gordon Ramsay, where it's like they've got the towers. You know, it's like 3 different levels, and like the top level gets like gourmet, like beef Wellington, Wagyu steak, and then the bottom one's like, you get scraps essentially.
I'm not sure. I haven't watched it. But yeah, it just feels like kind of a weird, like, I love Overcooked. Overcooked is an amazing game, but it just feels kind of a weird crossover, which we've already got a bunch of, cooking shows and all of that. I don't know. Who am I to judge? Who am I to
disagree?
Yeah. Good on you. Well, there you go, everybody. That is the Nerd Cave News this week. We hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the like button and make sure to come back on Tuesday where we're playing Ghost of Yote. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. This has been Zach
and Derek.
Y'all have a blessed week.